All right, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon replay cast. Today is a 3 vs 3 on Hop and Glory, part of the 4chan 3 vs 3 tournament. And this was the very first replay uploaded to the replay site, which is in the link in the description of the video. Also, I'll provide a link to the Reddit conversation about this, so you can learn more and join the conversation about the tournament. But on the left side here, we have Team Stream Snipers, which consists of Random, Dirty D, and Razman. And on the right side, our red team, a slightly politically incorrect Retard division, although fairly humorous, consists of Niemand 303, Yoyuku Sama, and we have Meow Alderman. And again, it is Hop and Glory, so a pretty common map. And we're going to go ahead and speed this on up till all the units come out, and then we will check out what everyone's got. Some of the rules about this tournament, you can't go like 2 USSR on the same team. So you can't really stack like 2 of the main, like 2 USA or USSR on the same team. So you generally have to have like a slightly diverse nation team. You can't really just stack USSR or USSA on the team. There's some other rules about the tournament as well. You can't helicopter rush. There is no helicopter rushing. Otherwise, you're unable to choose the next maps and other things like that. That's why I'm going to provide a link in the description to the conversation so you guys can get the whole idea. MiG-25 moving out real quick to get some scouting information. And we'll see what everybody's got here. We do have quite a bit of helicopters, but most of them are just troop carriers. And the helicopter rush really applies to like just trying to get to your enemy base with a huge rush and take out the enemy main base right off the bat. You also can't launch artillery like right at the enemy, right at the base along the roads of travel. Like so, you couldn't do this right off the bat, which is fair because that is slightly annoying. It does slow down your opponent quite a bit. That Retard there gets taken out right off the bat. So it's I believe that is first blood of the game. Another Retard here flying and in a dangerous spot and make it taken down again. It looks like a second one was taken out. I'm not sure if that evac'd out of there or not. I did not see it explode. I think it managed to just barely get away. Red team has managed to get into Foxtrot here. Going to try and hold this. And the blue team needs to really skip past this town and try and get in here as soon as possible. Although you do want to hold this town to some degree. You want to get into Foxtrot as soon as possible. So you need to just really throw a whole bunch of stuff at it. That's usually the case on this map. And then later on, you end up pushing in Gulf if you fail in Foxtrot from this side of the map. This side over here usually ends up pushing much later into the game. It's usually sort of a stalemate because it's so open. Anybody crossing here is easily spotted by just about anything and is taken out typically by heavy armor. You can put some heavy armor over here with some AA, and it's very hard to push. So usually that's sort of a stalemate for a while, and a big battle ends up occurring over here. Now our blue team has put Fallschirmjägers and Fliegerfaust inside the town here and decided to not go for Foxtrot this time. I have seen a lot of people try to just push right into Foxtrot. A lot of the time it doesn't work though. And we have some Lukes trying to push in here into the wood line, and just some Spetsnaz group going to Strelky here, trying to get to the edge so that they can launch those Cyclist missiles, but they got a little ways to go yet, and these V-150s will probably make it before they're able to actually start to launch. MI8 here firing away at the V-150, trying to get around the side. Doesn't make it, filled with Rangers, and we do have an Avenger here, but it looks like the Avenger can't quite spot that MI8, and it can't spot that Ka-52, however. Takes that out. Rangers now pouring out of the V-150s, going after the Gornastrelki here, and it looks like one of those Rangers was completely lost by the Gornastrelki when the V-150 was destroyed. Lukes has made it into the woodline over this way, already captured by the red team. +1 advantage, 22 points already. And now even more pushing in M1 IP Abrams and M1 HC. I really like the M1 IP. Just you can really just stack those pretty easily. Just 80 cost, and they really do the job. But unfortunately, they just don't have the max range. That's the big thing that they're missing, is that max range that the tanks have. And again, sort of a stalemate going on here. Has not been captured yet. I find it's best to capture Echo here as soon as possible because it's very hard to push through here, so you're not that likely to lose it as long as you're holding it at least reasonably well. M1 IP, M1 AC, or HC pushing on in here, and looks like the IP here is taking some shots from those VDV. The VDV do huge AP damage. Take it out in 3 shots there. Didn't really have anything in front of it. These Rangers perhaps were firing on them, but didn't really get the job done there. Now we have a Leopard 2A5 moving on in here. And this is a beast of a Leopard, 22 frontal armor. So that is the pretty much the real deal of the Leopard. And pushing forward with the HC as well. Has 20 armor like the heavy armor. Like the HA Abrams rather, but it has more damage. HC just slightly better. U.S. Marines and ESMA trying to push forward here, and not too much to stop them, really. We have some sapperies here, which will, I suppose, burn up these Marines pretty good, but really there's not a lot in Gulf right now defending. We have a T-72 M2 Moderna moving in at 21 frontal armor, so a pretty good tank as well. But it looks like it's starting to get overwhelmed here by the blue team. And we'll soon make it to that Commando CV. Eventually, we have some Avias now flying overhead and trying to select some targets here. And there they go, launching at that longbow. Did not destroy it, though, fortunately. A longbow is a very, very valuable unit. 150 cost, recon, and it's just so super good. And again, a slight stalemate here. Legion's trying to push all the way up to the top of the mountain. Should be able to see, although they are not recon, they should be able to see around here, at least see everything that's going on, these M1s here. And need some additional armor. I'd like to see some big armor over here, or at least some ATGMs that would be able to take out any armor that decides to push around that side. Very, very easy to defend. But the main battle on this map usually ends up in Gulf, as there's such a line in between here that trying to get into the town, red always has Foxtrot first, or whatever color you happen to be on this side of the map. Always gets this town first because it's just a close proximity. And once you get a bunch of troops in there, it's very, very difficult to actually take it. But where there's this isn't so bad. You have that wood line here that blocks the sight from this wood line back here, and even if your enemy is up here, you can pop smoke all through here and then just make it right into that wood line. And now the Strela going at it here. That Hornet finishes off that Moderna. And now the CV in a little bit of trouble here. U.S. Marines only down to 10, and there's just Strela in the way. And that's going to get wrecked up pretty quick there. Finishes it off. BTRDs, 2 BTRDs going to be firing away with 7.62, but not going to make it for very long there. KA-29 actually getting peppered up pretty bad here by Marines and the Leopards machine gun there. And now the red has been entirely kicked out of Gulf for now. +1 advantage for our blue 4 team since that has fallen. And with taking that, they could have a +2 advantage if they bring up a CV. An AMX CV is coming now, a sort of a lightly armored tank. I always like the tank CVs. They're always really, really useful in case of a bombing run or something like that, or if somebody tries to just do a trick artillery shot on you, and they usually survive it pretty good, unless it's an AP, I suppose. Jaegers now have pushed into the line here, and they're going to hold this line. Need to bring up the HC Abrams. Going to have the M1 IP over here to stop anything from coming around here. But it would be nice to have some heavy armor right at the edge of the line here to stop anything from coming around. As you can see, these 2 BTRDs, if you had that HC right here or deep in the line here, would just get blasted away before it even makes it into the town line here. It's going to have to drop off beforehand, even with all these troops here. Just going to get rocketed to death, so he's just gonna have to drop off, wait for something else, some armor to push forward. And I see a lot of players not using smoke in this game. Smoke is so good in this game. I also cast Company of Heroes 2, which smoke is very, very good in that game, but it's not nearly as good in that game as it is in Wargame, just because of the fact it's needed so badly in Wargame, because pushing across open ground is pretty much suicide in this game, unless you have an overwhelming force. We're Whereas Company of Heroes 2, you do have quite a bit of other options in certain situations. Legion here firing some ATGMs at that T-72M1. It's a dual group of T-72M1s, and one took a big old chunk of damage. Only 4 health left on that one. A Leclerc now coming around here. Heavily armored tank there. And attacks have been called in the town line here by Erasmus. And it looks like a gigantic push is coming here, and I'd like to see smoke. Smoke would just be so good if you pop smoke. These troops right here, all of these troops moving in, wouldn't have much to worry about. I mean, you could pop smoke with mortars, you could pop smoke with artillery. There are quite a few ways to do that, and all these Pekotas would not be able to fire out at these incoming APCs here. He's going to try and get into this town here first. By the looks of it, he's just going to go straight across the open ground. And if he can get into this town first, that is a start at the very least. And the red team pushing in on Echo a little bit here, but they've got a Leopard 1A5 there and a Leclerc around the other side to stop these T-72s. But just pushing some troops up the line here, trying to push in, but I don't think it's going to really happen. Could easily reinforce this, and as soon as they get to the other side of the mountain here, just going to get blasted by this Leopard. Not a particularly powerful Leopard, but against troops, it certainly does the job. And now huge amounts of troops pushing across in APCs, and nearly got completely destroyed there by a bomb. It was a slight miss on the enemy's part there. And now dropping off some troops here. And now those Leica Pekotas firing away those 82 millimeters, and there they go. Those APCs just getting ate up now. And some smoke would have stopped that in its tracks. They would not have been able to fire at all until they're pretty much just right on them. But I suppose so far it is working here. We do have artillery coming in, but the artillery coming in is not smoke. It is just trying to blast away the Pekotas, and they're getting back inside the town a little bit now for some safety. Panzer Grenadiers have made it into the town here. Jaeger's about to make it into the town, but he needs to try and get into this main block here, and it is completely neutralized now. So now a +3 advantage for our blue team. Foxtrot CV has been destroyed somehow. I did not actually even see how it was destroyed there. But either way, they have a +3 advantage now, so doing pretty good. Golf is well defended. And we do have a Leopard 2A5 up there as well to stop anything from moving up on that town line. M1IP there pretty much already destroyed by a bombing run. SMOS and Riflemen now moving up. Plenty of troops versus just 28 troops. Over 58 troops here. And plus the 12 Jaegers and a little bit of SMOS as well. T-55 AM2s trying to make it across here, but Leopard and the HEGM Milan going to be firing away at him. Not going to last long. Destroyed there. And so the push, very hard to push in Echo indeed. But a successful push now in Foxtrot. Our red team just simply didn't have enough in the line here. I would have liked to see more ATGMs. He had Pekotas, but they're not quite the same. They do pretty good with that 82 millimeter, but not as good as some SMOS, as some good old ATGMs right in the front line there. And looks like it's getting completely infested now. Troops coming in from all over the place. SMOS now made it in, and SU-22 now moving in. Gonna drop a big old bomb, a big old double bomb there right on the Riflemen, and Jaegers did a really good hit there and took out tons of those Riflemen and Jaegers. That sector right here is almost destroyed. I'd like to have seen a Hemmet, some kind of supply vehicle being brought up as well, and then you can move your troops back. You just got to move them back a couple blocks to these safety blocks here and move up fresh troops, and then you could get those back and up and running and then push them back again without actually losing them. Here comes that SU and dropping some cluster bombs here and all over the Riflemen, napalm rather, all over the Riflemen. Hey, these Riflemen are trapped. They will die for sure. Not going to make it out. Jaegers possibly can make it out, but it seems like they're going the wrong way. They were a little confused. Rangers here hit the BMPs, now coming around the corner. Good old Carl Gustav always does a trick and takes out another one BMP left. And M1IP streaking up through the woods here, going to finish that BMP off there. +5 advantage now for our blue team. The only spots left, Juliet and Hotel on the map. And so we have that +1, total of +6 now for the blue team. So 333 to 64. The red team started off pretty good. They had a pretty good start. They had a decent line here in Foxtrot. I would like to see more ATGM like Conkers or something in that nature. Because considering Conkers are super good, I love Conkers. And Golf here. They had Golf for a little while, but they just simply weren't reinforcing it while it was under attack. I didn't see a lot of troops coming in, a lot of tanks coming in to actually reinforce Golf while it was being assaulted, which would have been nice, and probably would have at least kept it neutralized at the very least. F-16 block here evacing, and not too much to take it out really. And I think it will make it out. No, actually loses it just at the last minute. It was probably half a second from being evac'd out, and it's not going to land on any troops, so nothing fun going to happen. I love to see helicopters and jets land on troops. That's always a good time. And still unable to push into Echo at all. T-72s dualies here, but not going to be able to push in ATGMs. 4 missiles still left in this Milan. And bringing up a bunch of troops here. 4 APCs filled with troops. Might be going up and over the mountain here. But again, as soon as he comes up and over that mountain, he's just going to get pummeled by all the things that are down here. So it's going to have to be like a 2 or 3 prong attack up through the mountain and up and around. LRM's firing away here at the town. And the Scott is in trouble. It is backing up. It's going to back up away from these missiles here. And recaptures that. And now pushing up through the wood line and through the road line here. And I don't know what he's going to be doing here. Is just going to hold this. If he holds this, that's really going to cut off the red player. The red player is not going to be able to get around. Red team's not going to be able to get around through this road, as they're going to get blasted by the M1IP. And any troops being brought up now, and Bradley now being brought up as well. And looks like they're going for blood here, going after India now. And Grad now firing away and just peppering up the whole town here, but not getting much here. There isn't too much here. Maybe a few stray ones will hit these Jaegers and Fallschirmjägers, but not going to be too big of a deal. Not a big loss. Even if he lost all of those, could just simply replace them pretty quickly. VAB and M1IP, indeed, he's pushing up. Avenger now firing some Stingers here at the Avia. It finishes it off with 2 of them. That's actually kind of surprising. Stingers usually are fairly lame and take a few shots to take anything down. Now, MiG's going to fly right over the Avenger again. And one connects on the front MiG there and did big damage. Something else finished it off. I didn't see what finished it off there. Mirage flying across there. And now they really need to pump troops into India here to defend this. Legions and the M1IP have made it into into India here and actually took the front base there, the forward operating base. So now it can just heal on up, get some supplies and some fuel, having a good time there. 2 T-72s moving on in. And I don't know if these Legions are going to be able to handle it. The Cyclist missiles should be able to do some pretty big damage to these T-72s. Along with that M1IP, should be able to handle this. And one of those T-72s down, and yeah, they're not going to last too much longer. But now an Mi-24 firing away, and both those T-72s lost. Mi-24 going to pepper up the whole area here, stops those Leopards in their tracks. MiG-29 flying across now. And there's just so much anti-air shooting at it. We have a Roland here and a Chaparral in the back. I don't know what happened to that Avenger. It must have been destroyed at some point. But we have plenty of anti-air here. The Chaparral and the Roland doing work. And I don't think this Su-25 is going to make it either. A couple more shots here. Anything that connects, and it may actually get lucky. It's stunned and evacing now. Now it's out of range. Very, very lucky Su-25. Now Leopard's pushing forward here and VAB in the back. And the CV is all the way back here, barely in the line. So they have to make it all the way back there to be able to do this. And this push is still coming, though. Furung's group now going to try and neutralize this. If they neutralize it, won't be able to take that. And the game is over before they're able to neutralize the main base of the red team. So the Retard division has lost. I believe in the rules you can do a second game to continue in the tournament if you set it up. If you don't set it up, apparently you're out. I'm not really sure. There's quite a bit of rules. I looked over them for a little bit and decided to cast this game, and it was a pretty good game at that. So our winners, Stream Snipers, Random Dirty D, and Razman. Again, there will be some links down below. One of the links will take you to a replay site where you can see all kinds of replays, download them, and upload your own. And if you want a replay casted, you can just upload a replay with my name in it. And if it's a really good one, I'll cast it. If it's not, well, maybe next time. But I'll also have another link for the Reddit to discuss about this 3v3 4chan tournament. But hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.